quickly. You win the game.
Coming live in the heart of Lincoln, America.
I say, hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
On air and online at theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Bakoven and Enrique Alvarez Cleary.
We are here. We are at the Tuesday of spring game week, so we're not too far away from the spring game. We're all getting excited. There's a new Herbie Husker. Everything. I mean, he's going to be unveiled at the spring game. I think that when he asked me who am I looking forward to seeing the most on the spring game, I think Herbie might be at the top of that list. But Marcus Satterfield, the offensive coordinator for Nebraska, had a press conference and talked about some other guys that we're going to be intrigued to see. So we will talk about that here in just a few seconds. But first, want to welcome Rico in. He's got his Derrick Rose jersey on for the New York Knicks. Rose still get a little bit of playing time for the Knicks?
He gets 0.
He does not play. Does he really? He doesn't.
But he does not. He does not
minute.
play. He does not play. But I love this jersey, so I wore it. This is last year's City Edition. This year's City Edition is like a dark, like a navy blue. It's actually really cool. If I were to get one, I would want a
Evan Fournier,
probably Emmanuel Quickly,
okay.
probably IQ jersey of that one. But no, I don't have one from this year. But I'm wearing the D Rose one. They play Game 2 today against Cleveland, starting at 6:30 on TNT. If anybody wants to check that out, they'll definitely go up 2-0 today and head back to New York and get ready to sweep them.
That would be huge if they can get the win tonight. Obviously, big talk with the NBA as far as Draymond Green and the Kings going up 2-0 last night.
Look at the Kings.
Look at the Kings.
Look at the Kings.
I've adopted them. They're my Western Conference team.
That makes sense. It's okay.
I think they're going to get a lot of bandwagon fans this week.
Oh, they're everybody's favorite now.
Yeah.
Light the beam.
The Kings, of course, and everybody, again, when you think about the Kings, at least I think if you're from, kind of my age group, you think about those early 2000s Kings with Mike Bibby and Peja Stojakovic and Chris Webber and Vlade Divac and Hito Turkoglu and I can keep naming Bobby Jackson, Scott Pollard, Jason Williams, White Chocolate was there for a bit. Those were some fun.
You know what the worst possible matchup for the NBA Finals would be? For if the NBA does not want this to happen.
What's that?
Sacramento and Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't think they're too worried about Brooklyn right now. Brooklyn going down to
no. Well, okay, so we're thinking teams that might actually happen. It'd probably be Sacramento, Miami.
Yeah.
I don't think they want that.
Sacramento, Cleveland would be too good.
Hey, I'm just saying teams that are up right now in their series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cleveland doesn't count.
Yeah.
Sacramento, Cleveland without LeBron, that would be
yes.
That would be terrible. I would watch it though.
Well,
I'd be rooting for Sacramento, obviously.
Yes. I think, yeah, they're my Western Conference team. I'll cheer for them all the way now. And tonight, too, you mentioned the Knicks and Cavs. My team, the Celtics, got booted to NBA TV because of how bad they destroyed the Hawks. Nobody
wants to watch that
Nobody
game.
thinks that game's going to be close.
Nobody wants to watch that game. They want to watch New York and Cleveland, and then right after that, LA and Phoenix.
Yes, the nightcap. Clippers and Suns. So that will be exciting. But we'll talk a little bit more NBA later on, including some disqualifying teams in China's basketball association. So that's kind of interesting.
Oh, Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah. Eric Bledsoe and Michael Beasley, part of those teams, but they weren't playing in the series. So
no.
Maybe neither one of them at fault there. But for what it's worth, like the Shanghai Sharks, another team, were disqualified for match fixing. Yao Ming in charge of that league. So not a good look for the CBA, but I guess it is what it is. Let's jump into some Husker football talk, though, because we did have Marcus Satterfield at the podium, and who better to ask about all the questions that we want to know about on the offensive side of the ball. Let's start with the running back position. Marcus Satterfield was asked. We'll jump around. This is not necessarily in the order of his questioning, but in the order of what I think is interesting, I suppose. Marcus Satterfield, which guys have risen in the top of that stacked running back room? And we'll get to that in a second.
One second.
I got to push a button or two, and then we can push another button or two.
Again, this is coach talk, but I mean, they're all, to me, they're all just kind of progressing the same. Each has a certain thing that they do, maybe like a third down back. This guy catches the ball a little bit better out of the backfield. This guy's more of a physical runner. But I think that, as a group, they keep getting better and better each day. They've improved in the pass pro. That was a challenge the last 2 weeks of just making sure third downs we're knowing our assignments and getting to the right guys. And they did that in the scrimmage for the most part, and improved on that this week, start with the early part of this week. So just as a room, really, pleased with where the direction they're going. I'd hate to just say a name right now at this point.
And you got these clips up, Rico, so you heard a lot of them. Is he a pretty good coach speak guy? That was a lot of coach speak right there.
Yeah, he's pretty good at saying a lot and not saying anything.
Yes, he very much well did that.
Yeah, he did. He also
that was like if you ask AI to generate
he was just
response for a running back.
He's just like, yeah, they're all doing really well. That's about it. They're doing fantastic. I'm not going to mention anybody because I don't
better
want
at doing these running back things.
But I understand that. I get that because if he mentions one name, he's either going to have to mention all of them, or people are going to look into the fact like, well, he only mentioned Anthony Grant, which means he's obviously the best one, or he's sticking out. So he's looking at that guy, and he's probably going to be the starter. Like people look into all of these comments so much, including us, that just avoiding saying names if you don't want to tip your hand too early, it makes sense.
But they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to split. The white team's going to have, the number 2 offense is going to have some running backs. So we're going to see how they split them up. Will be interesting because
they swap between the teams.
They might just all wear gray jerseys or something.
Exactly. All the running backs are playing for both teams.
For everybody. We don't want to let anybody know anything.
Exactly.
But I mean, I think that it is also like the intrigue in answering that question and hearing the response was the fact that we know that Nebraska has 4 ballers in the running back room. We don't need another coach to tell us that. We've already seen 4 of these guys play pretty well. Now, I'm not going to say all conference level. Some may be others than others as far as your preference or just stats. Obviously, last year Anthony Grant was close to 1,000-yard back.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Allen flashed for a lot of people. Ramir Johnson has. I'm really intrigued by him to see what this staff sees in him. Obviously, offensive coordinator, offensive staff 2 years ago loved him and wanted him as part of that group, and they gave him a lot of opportunities. Last year, different running back coach, different offensive coordinator, different set of eyes.
He was talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Didn't see the field all that much.
Didn't get used a whole lot until the Iowa game where he looked pretty good.
Yeah. You're like, oh, look at the explosion through the hole. Could have used this guy earlier.
It's almost like that guy that played the other year for us against Michigan.
It's like he has fresh legs because he hasn't been on the field.
So, I mean, those guys are good. And obviously, Gabe Ervin, in his limited time that he's been able to play. Another guy that was kind of interesting last year, didn't get as many carries as I thought they would. But again, you battle that fine line of getting your playmakers the ball. Mark Whipple was a big playmaker, giving the playmaker the ball type of guy. So if he identified as Anthony Grant as one of his guys, then he was going to give him the ball as much as he could. And the funny part about it was, and after every post game, no matter how many times Anthony Grant carried the ball, people would say, I want Anthony Grant to get the ball more.
He needs more carries.
And then they also simultaneously complain that some of the other running backs don't get carries.
Yeah, it's a delicate balancing act. It's a delicate dance to try and decide which running back gets the lion's share of the carries and which running backs have to share the carries. But if you have yourself a workhorse back like Anthony Grant seemed to be last year, I agree. I think he should have gotten more carries, especially after AJ Allen went down, because you saw what AJ Allen was able to provide as the backup running back. But then, like, the problem is you have so many talented running backs in the room that it's going to be hard to, at least from this side, we're not in practice. We don't see who's sticking out more than the others. It's going to be hard to decide, okay, this guy gets 25 carries and everybody else has to share, 15. We have to split 15 between 3 other running backs. I feel like that'd be really difficult to do. So I'm expecting probably a running back by committee type of approach early in the season, and then they'll probably find that workhorse back and feed him, like I said, a lion's share of the carries. But you have 3 running backs who have started at least 3 games at Nebraska, with Gabe Ervin, Ramir Johnson, and Anthony Grant. And then you have AJ Allen, the redshirt freshman, who, like you said, flashed a lot of potential in the first 3-4 games before he was lost for the season due to an injury. You have Emmett Johnson, the redshirt freshman from Minneapolis, who was Mr. Football in Minneapolis, and I think won another award for high school football. An extremely talented running back that the previous staff loved, and this staff seems to really like as well. Like, the running back room is stacked with people, so it's going to be really interesting to see who ends up getting the start and who ends up, the backup and whoever's getting carries after that.
Yeah, and I think it remains to be seen, but I mean, I think there's a pretty good chance that whoever starts the first game might not start the 6th game, might not start the 8th game. It might, they might rotate based on who's hot from week to week too. We'll see. Hopefully one of those guys explodes and comes an all Big Ten back.
Do you think it could be something like, and not to bring this up because it's one of my favorite teams, but do you think it could be something that New England used to do and still kind of does, where it depends on the matchup, where, when they had Rex Burkhead, they would play him against teams where they were looking to run, between the tackles more. It was back when they had, I can't remember, it was Dion something. It was a running back. He was kind of shorter when they were facing teams that they were trying to get running backs passes out of the backfield. They played him more. So you think it could be something like that for Nebraska, where depending on the matchup, the defense that they're going to face, if they're trying to power it, down the middle and run it down a team's throat, they have certain running back for that. They have a certain running back that is better at passing.
It's also all these guys are here, and it's something just to kind of monitor, because these guys are all enough. Might not. So how they 85 scholarships, or maybe make the team, I guess. A guy in that room that says, what, not to say that I'm conceding defeat in this. I just feel like I might not get as many carries as I transfer here. I could be a lead back. So, I think that's as intriguing as anything in the spring game is the week after the spring game and seeing how this roster shapes out. It'll be unlike any other, post spring game, week that we've had. And so, I mean, that'll be fascinating to kind of see how that plays out. Of course, the running backs can oftentimes do only as good as the offensive line in front of him. Marcus Satterfield was asked about Coach Raiola and in that offensive line, how they've been progressing.
Just how much his players play hard for him. They're a true unit, the way he coaches them, his expectations and standards he sets. They do everything together. They run on the field together. They run off the field together. They go into every meeting together. I mean, it's a brotherhood in that room, and it's been really neat to watch because it's kind of bleeding over to the rest of our offense. So, really nice job of just from a leadership standpoint of developing that group.
Wow, kind of repeating some thoughts that we heard from Norton Noeli earlier in the week, or maybe that was last week. But talking about a brotherhood there in the offensive line. And that's good to hear from the outside, I suppose, from the offensive line, because, you hear that and you kind of think, well, that's good. The position group is kind of bonding together. But if it can be seen from the outside, and like you said, bleeding to other positions on the team. I mean, how about that? How about the offensive line? One of the biggest question marks on the team, setting an example for some of the rest of the offense, which doesn't have as many question marks.
And I understand, if you want to look at this and think, oh, well, they're a position group. Of course, they're going to be close. And of course, they're going to do this. I'm not going to speak on what they were like before because I don't know. But for an offensive line group, this is especially important because they have to work in tandem with each other. The teamwork, if you want to have a successful offense, your offensive line needs to be all together on the same page at all times. If you want to keep your quarterback upright, if you want to open holes for your running back, everybody needs to know what they're doing and be able to trust the guy on their left, trust the guy on their right, that they're going to do what they need to do so you can get over and do what you need to do. If you're supposed to, chip or help on a defensive tackle and then move up to the second level and take a linebacker and the running back's supposed to follow behind you, but the guy to your left or the guy to your right, misses their block, all of a sudden you can't get up, you can't do what you're supposed to do. So the fact that you're hearing that these guys are all in with each other, building that trust, building that brotherhood, hopefully leads onto the field where something like that, it's going to happen regardless. Like sometimes you miss blocks, defensive line's trying to get to the quarterback and the running back, they're going to do things as well. So that's going to happen, but as long as it doesn't happen as often as it happened last year, it's going to be a massive step forward for this offensive line, just staying together.
Oh, and again, you got to remember that unit did get better as the season went on. That was Donovan's first run through with it. So maybe, we always talk about the second year of an offense and how much easier that is without the install and all that. You got to figure familiarity. You didn't lose, a whole lot of bodies off that offensive line. I think if you lost any, but I guess you did lose
Yes.
maybe a few guys. But for the most part, a lot of the main contributors are back. They've added a few pieces. And again, I think for a lot of people, you're going to be looking at the new guys, the flashy skill positions, but pay close attention to the offensive line because, as we know, line play takes you a long way in the Big Ten. Stephen Costello says, let's go Big Red on the YouTube page. Thanks for listening to us here. You can listen to us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, or on Allo Cable. We'll be right back. We'll hear some quarterback quotes from Marcus Satterfield, the offensive coordinator for Nebraska, coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket.
Experience the landmark difference with the next level of support. Landmark John Deere dealer continually work to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts and service teams are ready to serve you this planting season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Imagine your next staff meeting. Now imagine your next staff meeting with a side of ribs. Your next client presentation, or that same client presentation with brisket and baked beans. It's better, right? Let Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul take care of all of your business catering needs. Feed the staff, cater your next event, whatever you need, Mary Ellen's can help. They can even host your events in their brand new event space located right next to the restaurant. Go see for yourself. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake or online at maryellens.com. Let them fix you a plate.
Make your backyard the place to be this summer. All in-stock above-ground swimming pools at Bonsall Pool and Spa are now 50% off. This hot deal is good now through the month of May or until our stock is gone. Don't wait any longer. Visit our showroom at 33rd and Pioneers and claim your pool today. Visit bonzalpool.com/supernova above ground pools to learn more today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, your swimming pool headquarters in Lincoln for over 65 years.
The Nebraska Lottery has given over $900 million back to our state since 1993. It's gone to improve our environment, education, and stay fair.
Over $900 million? That's something.
I'll say.
Hey, I have a great idea for a commercial. Have someone count to 900 million out loud.
That would take 28 years. Not a good idea.
I don't know, with a little background music and some sound effects.
There's another studio down the hall. Why don't you get started?
The Nebraska Lottery, 30 years of building a better Nebraska.
The Nebraska Lottery has given over $900 million back to our state since 1993. The proceeds have helped protect and improve Nebraska's environment, funded need-based scholarships for Nebraska students, and maintained and improved facilities at the state fair.
That's terrific. You should put that on your website.
It already is. Just click on beneficiaries in the menu.
Menu? You guys serve food too?
Maybe you should get off your feet for a while.
The Nebraska Lottery, 30 years of building a better Nebraska.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's Fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Sunny skies, warm, windy conditions here for our Tuesday, an afternoon high of around 78. Southeast winds could gust near 30 at times. We'll see a chance of scattered thunderstorms late this evening into tonight, with a low down to around 60. A high tomorrow of around 76, with another chance of evening thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back on the glorious airwaves of 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket. And we were hearing from Marcus Satterfield, who spoke with the media earlier today, along with Donovan Raiola and some of the players as well. We're going to focus mostly on Satterfield for this show because he had a lot to say, and he is the man in charge of the offense, something we're all going to be interested to look at during the spring game here. And I promised some quarterback talk. I know we like to talk about all the positions here, but we know the sexiest position on the field remains quarterback.
Wide receiver.
Quarterback. Of course, that position was not so sexy once Casey went down last year. So hopefully the backups, a big kind of discussion here. And Heinrich Haarberg's really gathered some momentum maybe as that guy that is kind of making a push in camp. So let's hear from Marcus Satterfield about Heinrich Haarberg first as we dive into the quarterback discussion.
Big, physical, athletic. He's not just a runner; he can throw the football as well. So he allows you to be multiple in a lot of things that we're doing offensively. Really pleased with his development thus far through 12 practices.
So they really like him. They sound like he's more kind of a run first type of threat for them.
It's kind of what it seems like. It's almost as if that when they bring him in, it's going to be a run package. Like it's going to be a quarterback run. It's going to be an option, or it's going to be, if you saw the video it was like a couple weeks ago where it was a quarterback pitch and then he was running in front of the running back and threw a block. It seems like something that he's going to do. Just using his big body, his big frame to be very physical with the defense.
Yeah.
Whether that's throwing blocks or running through tackles or what have you.
It's just kind of weird because you kind of hear him say, and he can throw too. I was like, well, he's a quarterback.
Yeah, he's got an arm, I guess.
But interesting. I know a lot of people too over the years have wanted a true quarterback, not an athlete playing quarterback, or a running back playing quarterback. They've used to describe quarterbacks in the past at Nebraska. Obviously, there are different skill sets among the quarterback room, but Harburg is certainly a very good athlete and brings something different there to the ground game. Here's Satterfield describing Harburg as a runner.
Big, physical. Eric Crouch was at practice today. He's a little bit bigger than Eric was, but I mean, just he's not scared to get downhill. He runs like a running back. He's a big kid that has his superpower is running the football and being physical.
Again, he thinks he's got a superpower.
That is an interesting take.
It's a big statement there.
His superpower is running the football.
Yes, a superpower, huh? And
so I can almost guarantee you will see Heinrich Harburg get in games and just run the ball. Quarterback sneaks or like short yardage.
Oh yeah, he should be on.
It'll be Harburg.
Yeah.
But then again, Jeff Sims is also
pretty big.
He's pretty big. He's pretty. I think he's pretty physical.
Yeah.
Very, very fast. Like I don't know.
We'll see. It's kind of funny how we had a 16-second quote. He compared him quickly to Eric Crouch, and we got stuck up on the superpower thing.
We're not going to talk about that. I'm not going to do that. We're not doing that. No,
he said it.
Not
That's
doing
the
that.
offensive coordinator.
Eric Crouch was at practice today. He's a little bit bigger than Eric was.
There you go.
Don't do that.
Don't
do it.
I didn't do anything. He brought Eric Crouch
I know.
up
No,
out of
I know.
nowhere.
I'm talking to Satterfield. Don't do it.
Okay, yeah.
Don't do it. We've heard this before. We've heard comparisons to Husker greats before. Don't do it.
That's right.
Just don't. Just
Yeah,
avoid that like
didn't
the
work too
plague.
well, yeah.
Avoid comparing current Huskers to former Huskers like the plague.
There's a Heisman guy over there, and he's bigger than him. So I don't
this
know
guy won a
about
Heisman. This guy's bigger than him.
So
They're both from the state of Nebraska.
it's superpower over here.
He's got a superpower. This guy won a Heisman, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apples to oranges?
Interesting.
Grapes to potatoes? I don't know, man.
So there we go. As you heard, Heinrich Harburg might win a Heisman eventually. No, but here's Satterfield was asked if Heinrich is indeed pushing Jeff Sims.
He is. I think there's a healthy competition there. I think that they both have their good days, but I think they're the iron sharpens iron, and all the quarterbacks in the room are really pushing each other.
Hey, that's what you said about the running back room, Satterfield.
How do I put this in a nice way? No.
You don't think so?
I don't think that now pushing and competing for a starting job are two totally different things.
They are.
Pushing him to maybe run better, but I think Sims is already a very good runner, as you've seen in his Georgia Tech film. I feel probably fairly comparable throwers. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the offensive coordinator saying that a redshirt sophomore who's never played a single down of collegiate football is pushing a guy who started for 3 years at another Power 5 institution.
Well, again, I always go back when I think of this is when Taylor Martinez won the race against Cody Green and Zach Lee. It was hardly expected. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman athlete. You heard the kind of same things. There's like, yeah, sure, we'll see. They're just giving it lip service. But really, Cody Green or Zach Lee are going to win this thing. And then they run Taylor out there, and he was one of the best quarterbacks Nebraska's had in a while.
Yeah, well, it's I'm not trying to talk down his talent. He's obviously a very talented quarterback if he's at Nebraska, if he's at a Division I program. Was a very good quarterback at Kearney Catholic during his high school days. But when you're saying that he's pushing him, I don't know. I just don't know how to read into that, just because, maybe it's because Casey Thompson isn't practicing, and that's why, maybe you've got Heinrich Harburg running with the 2s or the 3s. I don't even know who the number 2. Those are really the only 2 quarterbacks that we're hearing about during practices, because Casey's hurt. So all you hear about is Jeff Sims this, Jeff Sims that, because he's the presumed starter.
Yeah.
They brought him in. He's their handpicked guy. And then Heinrich Harburg, which is just the strangest thing. And again, not to take away from the kid's talent, but you have, Chubba Purdy in there, who was a fairly successful he was a very talented quarterback. He went to Florida State straight out of high school, transferred to Nebraska. Although people thought that he was kind of iffy when he first started, that game that he got hurt, the game that he started and ended up getting hurt, he was playing fairly well to start the game, then ended up getting hurt. Logan Smothers, I think, is still coming back from the injury, so you're not hearing anything about him, but I don't know. And then he was asked a question about Richard Torres and was just confused because they called him Richie, and he's like, "Oh, you mean Richard?" So it's just, I don't know how to take Harburg pushing Sims in the quarterback room.
Well,
Fairly healthy competition, he said.
Yeah. Well, and we'll see. I mean, obviously, I do think that you would expect it to take some time going from Class C high school Nebraska football and into getting ready for Big Ten play. So I can understand the wait there, but it has been a few years now, and as he's been developing again, new set of eyes, maybe see something special in him. So I mean, his size and his athleticism certainly stand out. So there's some place for him, and so we'll kind of just see how it goes, and we'll see in the spring how real of a competitor he is. I do expect him, and I heard Steve Sipple say this on early break too, expect him to be the starting quarterback for the white team, the number 2 offense, and we'll see what they can get done. I mean, it'll be interesting. The quarterback race, I'm like you. I mean, I think it would be hard to look away from the experience of Jeff Sims, of Casey Thompson. So I think a lot of people think, well, those are the true guys vying for that job. But we'll see. And I think either way, it is good to see him develop, not to take away from Logan Smothers and Chubba Purdy. But again, they need depth at the quarterback position, as we saw yesterday. And either that can be a new guy like Heinrich Harburg jumping into the mix, or those guys, Smothers, obviously, like you mentioned, is hurting right now, or Chubba getting better. But one way or the other, you like to see the depth getting better there. Here is that question you were talking about, was asked about Richard Torres.
Richie, you caught me off guard with the Richie right there. Just to go and play in front of people. A lot of these guys haven't played in front of crowds like they're going to get to play in front and respond to that. Is your snap count going to be loud enough? Just are you going to be able to handle the moment? So it's going to be good to get those guys in competitive situations, and an environment like we're going to have is going to be a real game day here on Saturday. I think it's going to be great for all positions, but especially that quarterback position and Richie that's not really gotten to experience that yet.
So that's going to be the case for a lot of Huskers jumping on the field for the spring game. Let's jump back to kind of the start. Some of those other guys in that quarterback room. Here's how Marcus Satterfield, when it was asked to characterize Jeff Sims.
It's been good. I mean, he's played a lot of football, been in a lot of different offenses. So, I mean, once the verbiage may be a little different, but once he kind of correlates it with, I've ran that before, that's this, then, he's usually pretty good. He's got a nice calming demeanor out there, never too high, never too low. And just, he's done a really nice job. We went into this spring wanting to take care of the football and, increase his completion percentage. And he's done both of those to this point.
Well, that's what I like to hear, developing from his days at Georgia Tech. Of course, the other guy that we expect to compete there, Casey Thompson, has been sidelined for, of course, this spring. But here are there a few questions, a few updates here on Casey. Here he was asked, Marcus Satterfield, offensive coordinator, was asked, "What have you seen off the field, on the practice field from Casey?"
Mentally, he's really good. He works at it, grinds out in here every night. He's got teammates with him, teaching them the offense. In scrimmages, he's got the headset on. He's hearing every call. He's going through every. You can see him in the background going through the plays and going through, what his role would be in that play, going through progressions and things. And I think that he just, what he can't do physically, he's definitely not skipped, or he's not far behind mentally. He's not behind at all mentally. I mean, he's exactly where he needs to be. So he's done a really nice job of staying engaged throughout this whole process. We can't throw the ball, in practice right now. And done a really nice job.
I don't think that's surprising at all. I think we all knew that he was going to be all in mentally on the mental preparation side of things. I mean, you heard him those first couple of games when we spoke, when the media was speaking to him, and really all season, how well he would break down the opponent's defense, and how he knew where people were going to be, and just explaining everything to everybody. The guy is a sponge when it comes to mental preparation on the football field. Hopefully he's able to get healthy soon, and we can have ourselves a true quarterback competition, because right now it's just hard to judge it. Although he's there mentally, like Satterfield said, physically you still don't know, just because he's been injured, he's been on the sideline. So Sims has been able to show off all his talent, everything that he can do, while Casey's just been, on the mental side of things.
Yeah, and he was also asked where Casey is physically. Obviously, that's a big part of this. Like you said, Casey is, if you've ever met him, is just incredible. Wants to be in do football 24/7, and it just basically does. But has been held back because of the physicality here. Here is where is Casey physically?
I refuse to answer any medical questions. That goes to coach. But he's throwing now, and he's got a certain amount of reps he can throw, and he's doing everything he possibly can, and he's right on schedule for where he's supposed to be.
So there you have kind of the update on Casey Thompson. Satterfield also asked how the quarterbacks handled being live in practice. Of course, that was the case this past Saturday. Will be the case for the spring game as well. We all can say, give a nice celebratory sound of whatever you want to do. Clap. I don't know what you want to do there, but obviously much different than last year's spring ball. Here is how they handled the physicality this past practice.
It's been great. I think it's to not be live and play quarterback just because the time and urgency in the pocket. Sometimes you get seduced by that green jersey. So when you go live, I think the timing starts to speed up. The natural timing starts to speed up. So I think it's been really good for him. If you play football, you should be fine. If you go out there and you play passive, that's when you start to get banged up and get hurt. But if you just play football like you did when you were a little kid in the backyard, you usually can come out pretty healthy.
Yes. Backyard football rules. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's do it. It's going to be, I don't know if we've ever had a spring game where the quarterbacks were live. Everybody else was live in a couple of them up until the last few years, so you'd see the tackling and the hitting. I don't know about the quarterbacks being live in a spring game, so this is going to be really fun to watch because you're going to get, when those quarterbacks do take off and run, in every other spring game, somebody touches them on the shoulder, the run's over. In this one, we're really going to be able to see what Sims and what Harburg have to offer while running the ball.
Yeah, I can't wait for this spring game. I think it's going to be one of the better ones again with what you just mentioned. Also, the backdrop that some of the guys won't be Huskers in a week afterwards.
Yeah, that's going to be really weird.
It's going to be a competitive spring game.
How many people are we going to see like, wow, this guy's going to be really good for Nebraska this year? And then 2 days later, hey, this guy's in the portal. Well,
there it goes.
I was wrong.
Spring game star is always a fun thing to go over. So we'll see if we get any of those this year too. Of course, the ticket will be all over coverage. We'll be down at Tipsy Tina's for pregame. We'll have a postgame as well. Treat it just like a normal game day, just like the Huskers want to do. So we'll do that. But first, we got to take a break. When we come back, Nick Sandert will jump in studio with us. Lots of news to update you on Allen Robinson, DeMar Hamlin, Zach Edey, just all around the sports world. We'll do that coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back, Husker fans. Eustace Body Shop is happy to welcome the best fans in college football back to Lincoln. With Gold Class certified service, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop can call the right place to keep you in the game. Whether it's in Lincoln at 88th and Highway 2 or any of our other 5 locations across Nebraska, Body Shop can help get you back on the go Big Red.
Don't command it. You just we are.
Imagine your next staff meeting. Now imagine your next staff meeting with a side of ribs. Your next client presentation, or that same client presentation with brisket and baked beans. It's better, right? Let Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul take care of all of your business catering needs. Feed the staff, cater your next event, whatever you need, Mary Ellen can help. Host your events in their brand new event space located right next to the restaurant. Go see for yourself. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake or online at maryellens.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you get in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more of our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Sunny skies, warm, windy conditions here for our Tuesday and afternoon high of around 78. Southeast winds near 30 at times. See a chance of scattered thunderstorms late this evening into tonight, with a low down to around 60. A high tomorrow of around 76 with another chance of evening thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make your backyard the place to be this summer. All in stock above ground swimming pools at Bonsall Pool and
Spa are now off.
This hot deal is good now through the month of May or until our stock is gone. Don't wait any longer. Visit our showroom at 33rd and Pioneers and claim your day. Visit bonzalpool.com/supernova above ground pools to learn more today. Bonzal Pool and Spa, your swimming pool headquarters in Lincoln for over 65 years.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbon at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
The Nebraska Lottery has given over $900 million back to our state since 1993. It's gone to improve our environment, education, and air.
Over $900 million. That's something.
I'll say.
Hey, I have a great idea for a commercial. Have someone count to 900 million out loud.
That would take 28 years. Not a good idea.
I don't know, with a little background music and some sound effects.
There's another studio down the hall. Why don't you get started?
The Nebraska Lottery, 30 years of building a better Nebraska.
The Nebraska Lottery has given over $900 million back to our state since 1993. The proceeds have helped protect and improve Nebraska's environment, fund need-based scholarships for Nebraska, and maintained and improved facilities at the state fair.
That's terrific. You should put that on your website.
It already is. Just click on beneficiaries in the menu.
Menu? You guys serve food too?
Maybe you should get off your feet for a while.
The Nebraska Lottery, 30 years of building a better Nebraska.
Home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're all a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Hi, Sean Callahan, Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill. We have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have a $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel. So do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck. So stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with all deals through credit.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new open sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM first. 93.7 The Ticket. Back to the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket. It is time for the crossover where we welcome in mix of happy hour. So, hey, Enrique, have the next hour here and after this segment to talk plenty, I'm sure, about the spring game and plenty of news and storylines in the sports world. I wanted to get to a few of those before we wrap things up here on the Ticket Water Cooler, give you guys thoughts on a few different things. How about, first of all, some baseball in Lincoln tonight at Haymarket Park, Nebraska and Creighton. Of course, the interest of this game is that Nebraska is now 7-2 in conference play and 0-3 in the state. Can they get off the schneid against UNO in Creighton?
If they want any chance of making the NCAA tournament, they have to.
You think so?
They have to. We went through RPI numbers the other day. Like they have to.
They're bad. Like not they are bad. Like the RPI is really bad. I mean, and even one win against Creighton's not gonna
help.
Fix it.
Not gonna fix it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they win
point,
and fall.
Well, no, here's the deal. Like at this point, unfortunately, Nebraska is probably gonna have to win the Big Ten Conference to make a regional.
Yeah.
Unless they sweep Iowa and Maryland.
Well, no, unless like they win out or they lose 2 games the remainder of the season.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as they're not terrible games,
they're gonna have to probably win the Big Ten title.
Yeah. Too bad you can't play Northwestern.
Which it's just because you're
they dropped 30+ spots after they swept Northwestern.
Seriously, in the last week,
Northwestern's awful.
No, in the last week they swept them. They had a great run differential. They beat them 18-5 for goodness sakes.
Destroyed.
And they dropped 31 spots in the RPI.
Well, that's the good old Big Ten helping you out.
RPI looked at that and they were like, "That's not impressive." Oh, you hit 7 home runs in a game.
University of Illinois Chicago beat them 24-20.
Yeah, you didn't put up 24 runs. You're not that good.
Well, Northwestern, they have 5 wins this year, and 3 of them are in the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's not helping.
Thank God Nebraska's not one of them.
It is a good thing.
Nebraska football, the only win for Northwestern football.
But regardless,
Nebraska baseball avoids it.
Regardless of postseason play, Nebraska Creighton, a great rivalry, and so that'll be fun if people can get out to Haymarket Park tonight and watch Nebraska. This has been, you could say one thing or another about their RPI, but they've been smashing balls out of the park. So if you like the home,
Patrick Wisdom,
there you go. Who's Patrick Wisdom?
Third baseman for the Cubs. Come on, Bach.
Okay, I don't know who you're talking about.
Sorry.
Rico
Rico knows exactly who I'm talking about.
Picked up Patrick Wisdom on the fantasy team. He hit 2 home runs last night.
Rico knows exactly who I'm talking
Patrick Wisdom.
All right, well, see, I learned something today.
Cubs.
So this has
good.
absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about. I forgot that the new Twitter rules went into effect. So D Rose tweeted something, but I didn't know it was D Rose because he doesn't have the check mark.
Oh, did that go in today?
So check marks are dead?
I think so. I'm 99.9% sure this is the real D Rose because he has 2.4 million followers.
Probably. So let's see where. Did Nebraska have a blue check? Oh no, Nebraska Huskers still have a blue check mark.
Yeah, they probably paid for theirs.
Now what's the yellow check
Oh,
mark?
the Huskers subscribe to Twitter Blue.
The yellow check mark is.
Oh man,
let's find out. The yellow check mark means
it's a media organization
verified because it's an official organization on Twitter.
So they don't have to pay $8?
No.
Dang, the Nebraska Huskers have subscribed to Twitter Blue.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, it says this account is verified because it is subscribed to Twitter Blue.
So is Shefty.
Oh, Shefty. Well, I mean, all he's got to do is.
I mean, for their brand, you got.
Have you seen when Shefty tweets something out?
Immediately.
Immediately. We're talking thousands of likes and thousands of retweets and thousands of replies. Like immediately, he could tweet out something so stupid, and that's what always makes me laugh about those guys because. I don't know, Shams will tweet out like Kirk Heinrich has signed with the Atlanta Hawks. And in the replies, it's like Draymond's better than Jordan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just the dumbest replies.
The dumbest replies ever.
That's
right. I'm like, what are we doing? This has nothing to do with, and yes, Kirk Heinrich. Heinrich.
Good pull, though. I love Kirk.
Look at this. Kirk. Adam Schefter, Chargers re-signed wide receiver Jalen Guyton. It was 21 hours ago. 1,071 likes, 698.4 thousand interactions.
That's what I'm saying. No, but the best part
is Jalen Guyton.
If I were like, so we just need to go through like Shams. Hold on. So Shams, he subscribes to Twitter Blue as well. Dang Shams, that's too bad. Okay, so like here we go. Memphis Grizzlies forward Jaren Jackson has won the 2022-23 NBA Defensive Player of the Year award, and it's just like Evan Mobley got robbed. Rui Hachimura is way better than Evan Mobley. And I'm just like, that has nothing to do with Jaren Jackson.
Love it.
And then it's just like Kevin Love. Okay, so here's none. Kevin Love deserves a lifetime contract with the Cavs. I mean, like,
love it.
What are we doing?
These are great.
What are we
NBA
doing?
conversation.
And then it's just a poster of Anthony Davis.
Yep.
So, speaking of the NBA, Zach Edey declared for the NBA draft. Now he's still remaining eligible for college, so he's at least given him an out there. Do you think, like Zach Edey, obviously not a first round pick, but do you think that there's a chance he could make it in the league?
No.
No?
No.
I think there could be a spot for him.
No.
I think he's got enough athleticism.
He doesn't.
Over like Kofi Coburn.
Kofi Coburn is not in the league.
Who's not in the league. That's what I'm saying, though.
Luka Garza is a better basketball player. Luka Garza is not in the league.
Luka Garza is in the league.
He's in the league, and he played for the Pistons for like 12 games.
He's literally, I think, on the Timberwolves bench or somebody.
He's with the Pistons, unless he got traded.
He did get traded, I think, because I just saw him the other day on one of the playoff benches. He's not going to play much, and that's kind of my question about Zach Edey. Is he going to be the next Hakeem Olajuwon? Could he fill out a Boban role?
Oh, look at that! Luka Garza is with the Timberwolves.
Yeah, see,
he's still there.
He is. Do you want to know his stats?
Yeah.
For this season, round 2, pick 52. Okay, so this year he has played in 28 games, no starts, 8.7 minutes, averaging 6.5 points and 2.3 rebounds.
That's actually pretty good per minute.
That's not too bad at all.
We're not playing that many minutes.
Good for Luka Garza. His 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 28 games.
Yeah, but I mean, I think too. Like, what would you do if you're Zach Edey? You want to come back and dominate a year of college basketball and not necessarily do well in the postseason again?
Well, the thing is, it doesn't really matter how well you do because you're pretty much stuck in that.
He's a second-round pick.
You're not rising up. You're a second-round pick. Maybe you get higher in the second round. You're a second-round pick.
Interesting.
I would just go out this year and try to make some money. Although you're probably going to make money at Purdue as well. You probably make more at Purdue than you would in the G League.
We'll see. I mean, that's kind of what he's probably
what
got
is
the
what is like the
average salary of a G Leaguer?
Well, no, is there a signing bonus for second round draft pick, like a substantial one?
Well, you don't get, obviously you don't get you're not automatically make the team.
Yeah, exactly. So is there a bonus for second round draft picks?
Let's find out.
I cannot remember.
How much does a second round NBA draft pick make?
Remember when Isaiah Roby was like the highest paid second round pick ever or something for some reason?
The contract contains the largest guaranteed money, $4.94 million for an American second round. That was Kennedy Chandler. The largest was 4.94 in 2022. 4.94 million.
Well, it was so
that's gonna be hard to NIL that one.
Yeah.
So Isaiah Roby because he was like picked on some mock drafts like 15th overall and then all the way to like the last pick of the second round. And I'm just like, it was like, you had no clue where he was going. It was like team dependent where each team was and who was on the, like, obviously who was on the board and who was left. But it was like, I remember seeing like mock drafts of NBA draftexpress.com having him like pick 16 or 17th overall. And then it went to the Pistons, or it was like pick 21st in the second round to the Spurs. And it was like, okay, well, you have no clue where he's going, but that's a big swing.
And now he's a New York Knick.
He's Nick.
Although it says that he's out, like he's not playing because he's injured. So I don't know. So he's a Knick, but he's not a Knick.
Well, he signed like the day and year contract, right?
Yeah,
he's basically going to be on their summer league.
Yeah,
and try out for the team.
Like I'm excited.
What I was thrilled about was when the Bulls got Doug McDermott.
Yeah,
people might hate that, but I was like, sweet, the Bulls are getting Doug McDermott. Doug is going to rain threes at the United Center.
Doug McDermott on NBA 2K.
Yeah,
I don't remember what year it was. I don't remember what year it was. Dude, just you get him in the corner, he's hitting threes, and then as soon as somebody jumps, they actually have it kind of correct. Like he had I think he had the highest vert in his draft class. He can get up.
Yeah,
he'll dunk on somebody.
Yeah,
he's
so Doug McDermott. He's like a 73 overall or something like that.
He was always available,
but the dude was an insta bucket.
Yeah, I miss Kirk Heinrich. That's all I can think.
The
about.
goggles,
that's great. Yes,
all I can think about is Kirk Heinrich and
with the Bulls.
With the Bulls.
Oh yeah,
that Bulls team was the team.
Kirk Heinrich,
that
Luol
me.
Deng.
Yes,
Joakim
Noah, Carlos
Rose,
Boozer. Carlos Boozer. Before this was a couple years later.
Taj Gibson was always
there.
Mm-hmm.
Early years. Taj Gibson.
Yeah.
Prior to him going back overseas, Nikola Mirotic.
Oh yes.
He could
big Nikola Mirotic guy.
Mirotic fan.
Why do you hate Bobby Portis?
He sucker punched Nikola out of the league basically under Fred Hoiberg.
That's right.
Yeah.
I liked
Bobby Portis won a ring.
Yeah, screw Bobby Portis.
Yeah,
I could still be watching Mirotic in the NBA if it wasn't for
Bobby Portis. He was the Bulls draft pick out of Arkansas. Man, I love those teams. Those are fun.
Crazy Eyes Bobby Portis.
I always freaked out because Razul Butler was on. I always thought, so this was way before I like really started paying attention to NBA. On NBA 2K, it was like that weird transition between Razul Butler and Jimmy Butler for the Chicago Bulls. And I thought on 2K they just like messed up his name, and I'm like, that's Jimmy Butler.
You're like, that's not right.
That's Razul Butler. Thought he changed his name from like, Run Artest to Meta World Peace.
One last story here to get to, which needs a lot more than 30 seconds. That's why I'm giving you guys just 30 seconds. DeMar Hamlin cleared to return for football activity. The Bills announced it. He's gonna make his return. Are you guys gonna feel comfortable watching? I mean, do you like the story? What do you kind of think?
He went to like 4 separate doctors and they cleared him, so I'm good with it.
It's miraculous what's happened. I mean, the conspiracy theories now of that it's not DeMar Hamlin
ridiculous.
are finally okay.
Ridiculous.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and that injury, but I thought that was interesting. Also, Rams Allen Robinson expected to be traded to Pittsburgh if he passes a physical, so I think that's kind of interesting. And also, the Cavender twins are headed to the WWE. It was kind of thought that they might do
Look at that.
But that's why they're leaving women's basketball. So I guess a little bit of
they could have been in Lincoln last Friday.
Could have been. That'll wrap it up for the water cooler. Happy hour coming up next.
The Nebraska Lottery has given over 900